Welcome to our bathroom. About a week ago, I came in here and I was in the area of the toilet. And as I walked around here, I stepped on the old, ugly peel and stick adhesive tiles that we've hated for 10 years. I noticed water was coming up from between the tiles, which is never a good feeling. So, did some snooping and I pulled the toilet and I found that whoever installed all this over here had installed this flange below the level that the tile made. So the tile came up over the flange. And so the wax seal really wasn't doing, it just wasn't as tight as possible. And over probably a decade or more, at some point, the wax seal in the toilet shifted and a leak began. And over time, that leak of drainage water from the toilet, your favorite kind of water, seeped into this plywood subfloor. And as the plywood subfloor bubbled and soaked in the yuck, the wood that this flange was screwed into got looser and looser. So over time, the toilet shifted a little bit more and more, and the wax seal was no longer a seal. And the leak got worse and worse, and to the point where I was having water coming out of the tiles here. Gross, yuck, yuck, yuck. So I exposed this area and I poured bleach on everything and I let it set for, had a fan running for about 2 days. So I felt less like throwing up every time I came in here. And I'm like, well, I need to replace the tile and this plywood subfloor. And I went into the basement crawl space and I looked, and beneath this plywood subfloor, there's a hardwood subfloor that's all running diagonally. And that seemed to be in pretty good shape. I'll know more once this plywood's up. And I noticed over on this end of the bathroom, where the bathtub normally sits, I've got it here because I've been moving it around as I need it out of my way. Bathtub normally runs like this. This end of the floor has sagged quite a bit over the years. And they propped it up beneath with 4x4 posts onto concrete paving pieces set into a dirt floor. Well, that's probably good for a long while, but those concrete pavers have settled into that dirt floor over the decades. So when I get this subfloor out and expose the main support, I'll probably go beneath and sister in some new beams to the existing floor joists down there and brace it a lot better, really stiffen it up, maybe do a whole bunch of cross pieces, because wood is relatively inexpensive compared to a house settling and all the issues that can give us. And if I need to replace any sections of the subfloor, I can do that, and while I'm in the neighborhood, so to speak. And then new good quality marine grade plywood and all that fun stuff. And we're looking at all our options, and ceramic tiles a bit outside of our budget. And we were looking at various luxury vinyl products and all the new laminates and stuff. But either way, the squeeze under the lip of this existing tile was really too tight to do anything, because they had installed this tile after they put in this floor. So this tile is right up against, there's no gap at all. Normally you'd have a 16th inch gap sealed with silicone or caulk, and there is no gap. So I could not install any new laminate in there. It'd be really hard to get this old flooring out, let alone put new flooring in. So you can see here, when I was trying to pull one tile out, this chip happened. I guess you can see there. I was trying to pull this little section of tile out first. That little chip happened because it was just adhered to that too. So not very good quality tile. And we never really liked it. And sorry about the work light there. Turn over here so you're not getting blinded by that thing. This is one of the lights I usually use in the amp work for those videos. So we had this prefab tile that was not installed and grouted. This whole thing comes on a sheet and then it's cut and put in place. So kind of looks like subway tile. Never really cared for it. The grout's gotten ugly over the years. There's no real fixing it. And it had a really hideous wallpaper. You can't see any remnants really of the wallpaper, but it's there. It was there. And as I removed the wallpaper, I found that the mudding job beneath was not great, and a lot of scratches and gouges, and enough water was used to remove the wallpaper, and enough of the facing was removed in the process that I was concerned that too much water was getting in, because some of the areas of the drywall, which are no longer here, ta-da, spoiler, were getting swollen. And I thought, well, drywall's cheap. And I expected to find that the drywall would stop right where the tile ended. Well, the drywall is actually going beneath. There you can see, here's the cement backer that the tile's attached to, and here's the drywall. So they installed the flooring with really crappy adhesive tiles, which are all just different colors. I don't know if they replaced them for a different batch or not. It's just weird. It goes white to beige. Maybe once upon a time they were all white. I don't know. Anyway, so then they put up drywall and didn't do a fantastic job. They did put up some insulation with a couple of gaps. This gap here, the other side of this is our bedroom. This gap's not so bad, but huge gaps on either side of the old window. So this insulation did nothing because cold air just poured in all winter long. I'll be fixing things like that as I go. And R13 is not ideal for an exterior wall, but in Memphis, it is acceptable. And that you can see that they've furred things out and brought things out to make space. I might experiment with removing these thick frames here, because this is about 2 inches, and I could buy some more. That can make a noticeable difference in the wall dimensions. So I may go take these out and fur in like this, unless this is structural, because I've got a weird butt joint there, weird butt joint here. So I guess, yeah, I'm limited to this. Might have to brace this in from the other side some more. It's always something with 100-year-old houses. This house is actually 112 years old. So anyway, after they installed the flooring wrong and put the crappy tile on it, and they put up a bad job with drywall, painted it purple, changed their minds, put on a really hideous wallpaper. Is this something I can show you? No. Well, the wallpaper is there, and it was hideous. Then they put this tile on top of it, so I couldn't leave the tile and just change out the other stuff, which would have been much more cost effective. So I stopped because it was clearly hammer time. And as you can see over here, this is what I've removed so far. And you can see the line where the tile was going across, because I made a lot of dust there as I was hammering and stuff. You can see where wall anchors, actually there's a wall anchor still embedded in that insulation. Haha, fun. That used to hold up a shelf. So you can see a little bit of the mesh tape up there. I'm gonna sand the exterior edges of the ceiling, paint everything flat white. I hope I can paint over that. I think if I prime it really well, then paint it. I'm gonna put in some molding, some crown molding up there, like the rest of the house has, so I don't have to worry about doing the transition from wall to ceiling perfectly with the drywall mud, which isn't very nice. I've got some furring strips here, which broke off in the process of renovation. I don't know if you can see that because of the light. But those are just strips of plywood. I can replace those very easily. It looks like a 1/4 inch. Got all that out. Fun note, on the other side of this wall is my studio, and you might have seen I have a 5 guitar hanger up here. The hanger's on the other side of this wall, and I might take this opportunity to pull the insulation and triple check the anchors on that. But the guitars were removed before I started coming here and banging, so they're laying on couches around the house or in cases. This door is no kind of level. I'm gonna see if I can do anything about leveling this door frame a bit in the process. You can see I took the trim off this door, except for this strip, which is about to be done. Certainly took the trim off this window. I'll be redoing that. It's a modern, fairly good quality window that was installed. Okay, I'll give it more, the light's too much. I'll give it more insulation here, and especially these gaps. These are the gaps where the old lead weights used to be. going to those pulleys that raised and lowered the original windows. It's going to be a lot of fun getting this out. And I was up on this step ladder last night, pulling this drywall down. Now, I know I've got a rotary tool. I could make nice, neat cuts, but it's not necessary. I just use my utility knife to score the lines in the tape, and then I can just pull it out in chunks, and it's gone much faster that way. But I was up on this ladder last night, and I just pulled a big chunk out, and I was dropping everything into a pile here. The bathtub is over there. Then I was dropping in a pile here, and one piece hit the PVC pipe for the hot coming out of that would be the sink feed. And I'd already planned on replacing this crappy looking PVC stuff and making this nice and maybe centering everything. I guess certainly got to replace that old corroded drain line that's been cut off and banged up. Anyway, the drywall, which probably only weighed like 5 pounds or so, fell, hit this PVC, snapped, and water started shooting everywhere. So at that point, I ran out to the street and shut off the water supply, then realized I could just shut off the supply from the hot water tank. So we've only had cold water since about 4 o'clock yesterday. And I ran to the store and got this little cap for $1, and then the PVC primer, PVC cement for $20. Always something with houses. Dried it all off, sawed it off square, cleaned it, deburred it, primed it, cemented it, and it's just before noon right now. So in about 3 hours, I'll turn the hot water supply on and make sure that holds. But that was an unexpected issue. And in the middle of the flood, because this was all covered in drywall dust, and then tons and tons of hot water during the minute and a half it took me to run out to the street and shut off the water. Next time I'll know to go downstairs and shut it off at the tank. But in the heat of the battle, I was like, turn off all the water. Just turn it off. I know how to do that. I know where that is. Had only needle nose pliers that I could find on my way. So I didn't get to use my robo grip or anything massive. It was just a pair of needle nose pliers. Did the trick, thank God. In the process of trying to clean all this up, I discovered that the plug on our shop back was broken and had no neutral connection inside it. So when I went to the hardware store for the second time, I got a plug and put it on the shop vac. So this is looking much better today. Man, this house is just full of ugly things that I'll be fixing. Like, this is the drain for the clawfoot tub. This is the cold water supply. This is the hot water supply. And the hot water supply is flexible tubing. I can pull this up, and it's hideous. And this is galvanized steel at an angle. When I get this flooring out, I'll see what I can do about feeding something nice up that comes up from the floor at even spaces, copper or PEX or something suitable with nice quarter turn brass valves installed kind of low to the floor, so I can have nice looking connections to the tub when it goes back in place. And I'll do the same thing for the toilet feed. And again, I'll be doing the same thing for the sink connections. Be looking at code. We've been having one outlet in this bathroom for 10 years, and I'm going to move that outlet down there. So it'll be on white. We're going to do white wooden wainscoting for the bottom third of the wall, especially around the bath with some semi-gloss enamel, water resistant stuff. So I'm going to move the outlet down there. Let's see if I can install another outlet here. The issue is there's one vent pipe here and one vent pipe here. So if I do that, I'll probably have to go down into the basement and then come up because I can't run. I might be able to stake electrical here with some insulation between it. I just need to check code on all that fun stuff. It's always something. And then navigating the corners, it might be easier for me to just go down into the basement. But it'd be nice to have more than one place to plug things in this bathroom. We've got 3 light switches, one of which controls these 2 sconces. The other 2 are for a light and ceiling fan combination. That bulb has never worked since I've lived here for 10 years, and the fan makes a tiny, puny little sound. It's not very pretty, but I can paint this ceiling white and probably replace that with something the same dimensions that does work with an LED light, so I won't have to go up on a ladder once a year to change bulbs. I think once we have that for occasional use for the light, fairly regular use for the fan, hopefully, between the window and the two sconces, if we were to hang a mirror up here on the wainscoting shelf ledge over the tub, it would really open this space up. If I ever get things level and clean and secure first. But, and for those of you screaming at me, yes, I'll be putting in a vapor barrier over this insulation before I re-drywall. We've got a little bit of termite damage here on this one stud, but it is not a load-bearing stud. You can see it doesn't go down. It's just part of the window frame. And it's sistered in to this, which does not seem to have any termite damage. So I imagine this can stay. Doesn't seem to have, whatever termite damage that is ancient. But fun stuff, fun, kooky, wild stuff. Anyway, so if you haven't seen an amp repair video on my channel the past couple of days, and they'll be a little bit sporadic for a bit probably, we have to have this bathroom back. We've got basically the guest bathroom, which is a euphemism for a closet with a toilet, a sink, and a shower in it. And I know it's all first world problems, but you gotta keep your wife happy for a good marriage. So it is only a first world problem, but it's very real to me. And dang it, that sconce is farther to the right where the medicine cabinet mirror is than this is to the left. So I'll have to be nudging that this way or this that way. Perfectionist life is never done. Sorry about this shake on the camera. Thanks for watching.